bastards. This is some Belgian prepper. Done. So today I want to talk about typewriters. Why? Wait, you know what? Before we start talking about typewriters, I have written a detective series about. It's an 11 parts. If you're interested in it, the link will be down below. And yeah, let's continue with this. So, a typewriter, if you perhaps can see, could be actually a handy thing for in a survival situation. Why? Because we all know the scam with printers. The printers are, it's just like I said before, it's a scam. Uh, they the machines are usually very cheap, break often. You cannot repair them yourself because usually it's made out of flimsy plastic or electrical parts or some chips that you can not that even if you're a mechanic you cannot repair. And yeah, we're not even talked about the ink cartridges, which is one of the biggest scams that there are. It's like how many 23 cents for ink, and they sell it to like 40 to 50 bucks. So yeah, it's just like the razor principle. I would advise to look it up about this system. But nonetheless, if you during a survival situation, you will probably need to write letters. So yeah, a letter you can write it with your hand, but if you're like me, I'm a lefty, and I make some marks when I'm writing with ink and with a pen, or I have a how do they say this? I have a doctor's writing, so it's not always clear what I'm trying to say. And to be honest, with the youth of these days, they with always with their how do you say this, with their smartphones and texting, they will, and WhatsApp or whatever, they will not be able to write with hand anymore. So that's some loss that could be prevented by exercising this with writing. But if you want to make an official letter, it's always good to have a typewriter with you. Oh, I can show it. So why a typewriter? There are more important things to do during a survival situation. Well, that is for a long term. I find it very handy for a long term financial situation, or to if you're in a financial crisis. Why? Because this thing has never let me down. How? Well, with a normal printer, what usually would happen is, yeah, I want to just type a letter. It's like a Christmas letter to someone. And what happens? The printer is broken down. If it's not broken down, there is a problem with the ink cartridges. Even though there are 3 full ink cartridges, one of them is almost empty, not even yet empty, so that's part of the scam. And yeah, you cannot print anymore, or you have the problems with the sludges. So yeah, that's kind of a problem if you're during a shitty defense situation, or not to mention when there is no electricity. So yeah, that's another big part. So without electricity, you cannot even use a printer unless you're going to hook it up onto a generator. But who the hell is going to do that with their precious gasoline during such a situation? So for that, that's already a good backup if you want to write letters, more official letters or documents that could be handy for bartering, because you'll be one of the few people that will use this thing. So actually, it could also be a skill. So during a shit hit a fan, after it, or a long-term survival situation, you can barter with people by saying, "I will, like a griffer in the court. I will write a letter for you because I have practice on this thing. This is my typewriter, and you can give this service in exchange for something else that they will give you." So in a way, it's a sort of bartering item, in a way. So with your skills, another thing what I like about this is. The price. This thing only cost me like 20 euros, which is a lot less than a printer, nonetheless, and much not even the half of a printer cartridge. So yeah, that's money saved. Third thing, I can repair this. This thing, when it had a problem, I could have fixed this. When there is a spring loose, I could fix it. When there is something mechanical going loose, I can screw it a little bit tighter or replace it with something else. And not to mention, like I said before, the ink cartridge is a big scam. But if you perhaps can see, these old typewriters use with an inked ribbon, and this thing I have one inked ribbon in reserve, and I've not yet have to use this. I use this because this thing is still working. It still types fine. There's no problem. You just have to sometimes clean it a little bit, where the letters, like you perhaps can see, like these things that go up, you sometimes have to clean them because some of the paper fabric is getting a little bit staining to it, so it will absorb the ink. But you are just cleaning and you can just go on. You can even have different colors. As you can see, there is how do you say this, a black, a red, and in the middle you can change it to gray. So there are 3 colors you can type in for more variation in your letter. So yeah, I find it very, very handy. It's a good skill. It's mechanical. Yeah, it makes a lot of noise and it will drive your partner crazy perhaps, but it's a good alternative that has not yet failed me. It's very cheap, and yeah, it's fun. So, if you can read this, bastards, this is Some-Belgian-prepper, and yeah, a typewriter, I would give it a go. I would let it, at least if you're not going to use it as an alternative for when the electricity goes down, when you have financial problems because you cannot afford a printer, but you have to write a letter, or you just want to write a book about how you survived the apocalypse during the apocalypse. So that's also another thing you can do. And yeah, I find it, and even if you do not use it, it's awesome. It's awesome if you have this thing at your desk. So it gives that old classic vibe with it. So yeah, I would say why not? I don't see any bad reason to not own one of these. These are cheap, reliable. You can fix them yourself, and they look cool on your desk. And one last thing, even if it's broken, rusted, because you have not you did not do the maintenance right, like with oil or something that you sometimes have to do. So yeah, if it's totally broken, you can still, it's mostly metal, so you can still put it into a scrapyard and get some money from the iron. So yeah, it's no big loss actually. And yeah, it can help your skills with some mechanical skills, because you learn something about mechanic if you try to do some maintenance or repair this thing. And yeah, those are the things I have to say about this. Subscribe, I would appreciate it. Leave a like. Put something in the comment if you have some good experience or ideas with typewriters, or something else that you can do, like perhaps you can write something else than stories, documents, love letters, or etc. If you got any other ideas that could be replacing a printer, let me know it. I'm always curious, and I'm always wanting to learn new things on how people do it elsewhere. And if you want to live off grid, it's also a good option actually. So thank you for watching. Cheers, and see you in the next video. I will end this with a good sound. Bye.